All right. I want to talk about sort of some pros and cons that I'm thinking about as far as sets or backgrounds. And that's virtual sets versus physical sets. You might think a physical set is obviously better. And I go back and forth because there are definitely pros and cons to both. For example, if you have a real set, you're going to be able to move around. You can have multiple cameras and then cut between them. You can just change your camera around. You don't have to worry about masking yourself out in different kinds of software like rotoscoping or using a green screen or a blue screen. You see those in special effects behind the scenes sort of videos all the time. They've been using those for forever. So if a real set is just kind of special too. If you ever watch something like a Sports Center, for example, they're sitting, or a lot of the news channels that you might see in the morning or the evening, they've just got these beautiful sets. They have all this neon lighting and these huge screens where you can see all of the, maybe you see the city outside, and obviously they're not recording in like some high rise that has a beautiful view of whatever city they're supposed to be in, but they could actually be doing these newscasts or sports centers in Connecticut, pretty close to New York as far as I remember, but someone could come up with a look that is just as good as that in their house, in their bedroom, in their basement, in their wherever, with a virtual set. So a virtual set obviously has pros and cons as well. You can change the background anytime. So maybe you love the background you have for a while. Maybe after a year or two, you kind of get bored of it and you decide, I want to do something different. Well, you can just go into Midjourney. You can use Photoshop. You can just, you can kit bash things together. You can outsource it, however, and you can basically transport yourself to a completely new place super easily, really quickly. And I say really quickly, it could take hours. It could take a day just to fine tune it and tweak it and just really get it the way you want. But you have so much flexibility. And whereas with a physical set, once you have it set up, you're pretty much going to be using that set forever, unless you want to go through the whole process of tearing it down, building another one, all the time, the construction, definitely all of the cost. That would be a huge factor. So of course, the cost difference is insane. I think, of course, if you have the right lighting and you have the right budget, I think having a real set would be preferable. I would love to have a real set that looks like this. And it wouldn't probably be that hard because, quite frankly, it is very simple. You get a desk, you get a couple of monitors that have some cool things playing on them. You put some brick on the wall. And there is one that I really like. I've liked for a long time. It's called like Midtown Brick, something Midtown. I forget, brownstone. I think it's Midtown. It's from Ninth and Vine. I think it looks so good. And I would love to put that sort of in the corner and then just get some lights and, it would be the whole thing. Probably outsource on Etsy a neon light that says Mark's Comics. And it would be real. It would be a real set. It would be not super cheap. It wouldn't be super expensive either. But again, the thing is, while I think it would look better, and you could put plants and you could put decorations and you could put framed posters on the wall, and it could just really be sweet. Again, if I wanted to change that though, well, it would be a lot of work. So I would have to say, okay, once I like what I have, I need to stick with it. And if I wanted to do another channel and it wasn't Mark's Comics, then what, am I going to get a different neon sign and just like swap them out? How easy or hard is that? Or would I have to do another studio in my house, or if I was renting space somewhere and like have two studios and record based on which one I was recording that day? Whereas again, with a virtual set, it's much simpler. You just prompt in Midjourney or any of the different kinds of AI apps, because there are a ton of them, and I feel like they all have their pros and cons as well, but they're all really good as far as I can tell. You can tell from this virtual background that it's more of like a high-end not speed painting, but almost like a concept art. Like, it's not exactly photorealistic. It's close. And I don't really care about that. Again, the thing is, I'm not going for realism. I'm going for something that looks good. I just want it to look good and interesting. If eventually I can make it look super realistic, great. But right now, trust me, it beats the beige, plain, boring walls that I otherwise would have behind me. And when I do the tutorial, I will show you. I'll have some photos, maybe a couple of videos of my workspace just so you can see. And speaking of seeing, this is kind of a look at the flats. So this is the selections. I fast forwarded. I didn't want to record everything because, quite frankly, that's boring. But if this wasn't boring, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. And I really appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you next time. Bye.